Today, we're going to find out what wines to have for summer 2024. I'm Jason.
And I'm Trent, and we're from The Wind Up. We're here to provide you unfiltered, unapologetically unprofessional journey of wine.
And our slogan here is drink more, try more, learn more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, Trent, thoughts of the week. What have you been thinking about?
Thoughts of the week is based on my recent trip to Hong Kong. And on my recent trip to Hong Kong, I wanted to look for a certain type of wine that you've been craving, and that is a red Burgundy.
Oh, yes, haven't had that, yeah.
And the reason I went to Hong Kong because it's tax-free there, great range, because tax-free is also cheaper as well. So I thought I'll try and search out some red Burgundies. But having never really kind of explored Burgundy Pinots before, I found it quite overwhelming in the sense that it's one of those, I don't know, those things that just, you kind of pull a string and then it unravels and you pull more, that keeps on unraveling even more. And then you just feel completely overwhelmed on what to buy, which region, which sub-region, which producer, which crew, Grand Cru, Premier Cru.
Oh, so many dimensions.
So many dimensions. So what I took from that one is that there's just so much still to learn. And I felt that I needed some form of, I guess, reference to kind of go back to, and hence my thought around what books I need to look for. And the one that I kind of searched for online was around, Jancis Robinson, and Hugh Johnson's World Wine Atlas.
Okay.
So I thought maybe that's the right one, but I wanted to kind of ask you as well. Have you looked at any?
No, I have to admit, I've always looked at the wine books, but I've never actually bought one myself.
Yeah.
They often seem really thick. And the ones I see is they've got illustrations of the grapes. So I'm not too interested. But no, what wine? So did you buy it?
I didn't buy it, but I was looking on Amazon. I'm very tempted because I felt like back in the old days, you look at an encyclopedia and kind of search up different things, try and learn as an authoritative type of thing. And everyone knows how good Jancis is as well. But I'm also a bit worried about, I think she started at Oxford or Cambridge or something like that. It's just could be, again, really thick, a big read. But I wanted to have a quick reference guide to go, for Burgundy, what area, what region, what do I need to buy? Is good. I did find a few that I sent over to you, but you opted out. I think the three that I found was 3 Domaine Romani Contis. One was a 2005 that had a bargain price of $50,000.
Bargain.
The 1990
50,000 Aussie,
and the 1990 was 48,000, and the 1983, which was an absolute steal, for $36,000.
You're saying per bottle or
per bottle?
My gosh,
per bottle.
Yep.
So I don't know why. I think you prefer having a roof over your head rather than a few bottles of wine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did my job.
Yes,
but yeah,
you can buy a couple of cars for that. That's ridiculous. Right.
So that's my thought of the week, and yours?
Mine was exploring different wines and varieties, and it's one of the varieties that we're going to have today is a Semillon.
Yeah.
And I have to say I haven't had much Semillon. Probably had it twice in my life.
Yeah. And
each time was in Hunter Valley. Do you have much Semillon?
No. The only time that I had it was when I shared that. Tasted like beer when I had the pork ramen.
Yeah.
And I said I want to try more aged Semillon, and thank you for bringing some today for us to try.
We're going to get to try some, but I was thinking because we're based in New South Wales, Australia, and Hunter Valley is probably the biggest wine region here. And Semillon and Hunter Valley seem like they're joined at the hip.
Synonymous, right, with each other.
Yeah, it's the variety to have if you're going from Hunter. But
I thought it was Shiraz. I always think Australian everyday Shiraz.
I always hear Semillon. And so I thought I need to know more. Why haven't I had it? I'm typically having the really common ones, right? The ones that are more popular, your Cab Savs, your Chardonnays, your Rieslings, etc. But what is special about the Semillon? And I found out that the Semillon is meant to be a mix between a Chardy in terms of its body and a Sauv Blanc in terms of the citrus flavors. Okay. Does that describe it based on
I think it describes it, but also I think it's also a difference between a young Semillon and an aged Semillon as well.
Yes. And that seems to be a lot of where the interest comes from. So the Real Review, Juan Hook.
Juan Hook, is that it?
That's how. Have you heard of him?
Juan Hook.
Juan Hook? I say like Juan like he's
Chinese?
No, I was thinking like a Spanish kind of
A Juan Hook.
Hook, Mr. Hook. I'll call you that. Right, I was reading a few of his articles trying to describe Semillon in Hunter Valley, and he says the three things that are key about it is, one, it tastes good at any age. So to your point around, it's a good wine to age between 1 to 20 years. Throughout that range, actually the flavor profile changes.
Yeah.
But in each age, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
The other one that he was talking about is it's also good because it's low in alcohol. So you can have a fair bit of it.
Awesome.
And then the third one is, because the flavors aren't too bold, it's a great wine to pair because it's never going to overpower the food that you have. So I was thinking, gosh, all those three factors sound fantastic. Why shouldn't I have more?
Sounds like a good all-rounder.
It's an all-rounder.
Yeah, a bit of a Steve Waugh.
A bit of a Steve. Wow. You and your cricket kind of linkages. Yes, Steve Waugh is an all-rounder. Again, showing the age, but also showing the Australian heritage here. The thing that makes it good in Hunter is meant to be the fact that Semillon works well on old sandy riverbeds, and that's what's in Hunter apparently. So those are a few things I thought I wanted to share. I think I encourage everyone to try a Semillon. We're going to try one today, but that's what I was thinking about. And if we think about wines that you've been having, Trent, what have you been drinking?
Again, back to my trip to Hong Kong. We stayed in Hong Kong and we visited my wife's cousin there, and he likes to collect his wine. I don't know whether he knows that much. Still exploring wine as well. And he had a 2011 Lynch-Bages, which is a Bordeaux, that he brought out to kind of pair with a prime rib that he had, which is a bit like, for me, it felt a bit like a roast beef.
Yeah.
So had the roast beef or the prime rib with the Lynch-Bages. Again, on the color was beautiful, that kind of ruby, purpley type of color. On the nose, the black fruits came through, but for me, the length was a bit lacking. It kind of did its job, but then fizzled and died away. So I think for me, it was like 6 or 7 out of 10 corkscrews, but it was still good to have that kind of aged Bordeaux, like 12 years.
Yeah,
still pretty damn good.
How much was it? Do you recall the price?
I don't know the price. I think I know Château Lynch-Bages, when he bought it, I don't know, probably a bit of around 100 Aussie probably.
Right.
Yeah, because it's pretty good value, no tax.
Yeah, it's not $36,000, which is a good thing.
No.
All right.
I'm still waiting for you to kind of buy that one. We can share it on the podcast.
We need more sponsorship. If we can get some sponsors, anyone free to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah.
All right. And that's the wine of the week. Let's jump to the topic, which is about summer 2024 in Australia. It is heating up. It's spring.
It's summertime madness.
It's summertime madness. We were listening to a bit of that just prior to this, getting in the zone. It's spring right now, but very soon it's going to turn summer. And in Australia, the heat is high, record-setting temperatures because of the heat. We need to get prepared for summer.
Yeah.
And when we think of summer, well, what's the things that you think about Australian summer?
Beach, sunscreen, cricket, water, barbecues, having fun.
Yes, the beach.
And the Wind Up podcast.
Enjoying listening to the Wind Up podcast while on a beach. That's a great idea.
That's a great pairing in itself.
That's a great pairing. But it is, in Australia, it's beach barbecues, cricket, etc. But at the beach, the images we get are of budgie smugglers and people in Speedos. When's the last time you wore a pair of budgie smugglers?
The other day.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I thought it was dead. I was going to say in Australia, lots of people actually don't wear that, but apparently Trent still does. Watch out for Trent's budgies.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You just feel a bit uncomfortable around me when I'm wearing them. No, that's all.
Don't. I try to avoid you at those times.
Yeah. Do you ever think about grapefruits as well for summer?
I do. I love the grapefruit shirt that you have on. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And palm trees, apparently.
And palm trees. With the heat and the beach, I've got to say, most of my time in Australian summers has been having a beer.
Yeah.
I think I need something cool, something crisp.
4X. Tooheys.
I've gone through so many, but there's a lot of summer lagers coming out and summer ales.
Yeah.
A bit more floral, a bit more light.
Yeah.
But I thought, why aren't I having more wines?
Why not, I say?
Exactly. And we need to be exploring what wines to have. And so that's what we wanted to talk about today. What are some wines that we can have for summer 2024? And so I might start off first with a wine that I chose a wine and Trent had chosen a wine, kind of thinking about the journeys and trends that are happening now. I mentioned it earlier, it was a Semillon. And you were the inspiration for that. So if we hold it to the camera, it's a Tyrrell's VAT 1 Semillon, Tyrrell's VAT 1 Semillon from Hunter Valley, 2016. And I found this for a bargain. It's typically $110. And first choice liquor, $55. So
what did you do?
50% off. There was a combination of they were doing a sale and further discounts on that day.
Wow.
So absolute bargain to try it. But the inspiration was actually you. Mm-hmm. You'd mentioned previously that you tried a Tyrrell's Semillon that was aged and it tasted like beer.
Yeah.
And so I thought, look, if I'm always having beer during the summertime in Australia, let's try an aged Semillon and see if it's similar.
Cool.
So we've got it in front of us. Let's talk about the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So on the eyes, how would you describe this, Trent?
Pale, I would say that. Pale greenish yellow, for more on the green side.
It's more on the green side. Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, I don't know, just by sight, again, it feels like it could be quite light, but I know with a Semillon, it has that kind of Chardonnay body you kind of talked about. So
on the nose, it's interesting. It's like a cookie, bready, kind of yeasty kind of flavor. And then a bit of, I get champagne kind of smells coming through.
Yeah, but not as fresh. When you say yeasty, maybe? Yeah.
What are you smelling? Yeah, it's overpowering kind of dough yeast.
It's not citrus. It's not. It is more kind of subdued. It is a bit more kind of on the nose. A bit more kind of the medium.
There's no sweetness there at all.
No.
But I do enjoy the scent. To be honest, it's a bit different. It's a bit biscuity, a bit cookie crumb for me.
Biscuity, but it feels like it's not sweet.
Yeah.
It's more of a dry.
Yes.
But it's not fresh, sharp citrus fruits.
No. Which is interesting because at the start, the Semillon, from the notes, the Semillon's meant to be like a Sauv Blanc, citrusy, lime, lemon. Mm. So let's give it a taste.
Okay.
And see what the flavor profile is like, because it's aged. This is 2016, so 9 years. Is that right? No, that's 7 years.
Good stuff. Had a few too many already.
I do get a nice acidity in regards to it, and that citrus. The length of it, I can feel the citrus coming through on the flavor profile.
I also can just feel that kind of the tannins kind of in the mid palate as well, kind of coming through for a white as well.
For a white, that's interesting.
So it's got the texture there. Yeah,
it's a heavier body. When they say it's like a Shardy, it's a heavier body. I still get that yeasty flavor with it as well, which isn't bad.
But it has that rounded. I don't want to say. Has a kind of like a creaminess to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which sometimes you say that with a Shardy as well, right?
But it's not that butteriness. So I don't know whether it has oak or anything like that. But yeah, creamy. It does have that hint of fruit. It's not cooked fruits. It's still that slight sharpness to it, but has a texture of the tannins in the mid palate, which is very...
That finish is nice. It's...
Nice?
It's very nice. It's hanging out. It's at the beach, just chilling.
Yeah. What are the tasting notes on this one, do you say?
Yeah, so let me read a few of the tasting notes. So Lightly crushed and pressed with relatively cool fermentation. It's got mineral because it's had time on lees. It's an inviting nose of citrus and a palate that is the perfect midpoint between power and elegance. The VAT 1 fruit power is balanced by its delicate yet crisp acid profile, resulting in a seamless wine with a clean finish.
Clean finish, yes.
I do like it. It's very different. Well, it's not very different. It's kind of familiar, but it's a mismatch of different wines that I've had. I get that acidity. I like the finish. Nothing's really overpowering, which I like. So it feels quite balanced.
Yeah. That's good. It's a good one.
I enjoy it. Now, imagine yourself at the beach having a bit of this. Something I did want to say is, interestingly, the notes were also saying a more aged wine you should serve at like a room temperature. Yeah. The younger one's cooler. This is probably close to room temperature at this stage. I'm interested to try it. Quite cool. But you're at the beach. You're having a VAT 1 Semillon and you're thinking, what Corkscrew am I rating this? What are you thinking?
I'm at the beach, Bondi, maybe not Bondi, too crowded somewhere else, having this VAT 1. Hear the seagulls, fish and chip.
Fish and chips has to be.
Fish and chips will go spectacularly with it.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good, I get why it's a good wine for pairing.
I'm like 7, 8 out of 10. I'll give it 8 out of 10. If I had fish and chips, it'll be definitely 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Beautiful. Bit of tartar sauce. Crisp. Oh, I could imagine it. Perfect.
So you're
beer and fish and chips. That's what it is.
Yes, and that, I guess when you're thinking about beer, there's quite a fair bit of yeastiness coming through in that.
Yeah,
that does make sense. So 8 out of 10 Corkscrews.
8 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Look, I really enjoyed the wine. I'm gonna have more if I can get it at a similar price point.
Yeah.
When I think of summer butt, I think of something that's a bit more sweeter.
Yeah.
A bit fruitier. Like I was talking about those summer ales. A lot of those are very floral fruity now.
Yeah.
Just really, really easy to drink. This is easy to drink, but it's not exactly what I was thinking about summer. If I'm not linking it to summer, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm judging on the wine by itself, not judging in terms of
summer. But if we're thinking about summer, I'd probably go 7.
I want something fresher and lighter.
Yes,
But then, if I was saying fish and chips on the beach, this would go perfectly, right?
I think it's got to be an 8. It's one for all occasions. It's Steve Waugh, like you said.
If you had a Riesling, which would be great by itself, we have a Riesling with fish and chips on the beach, and it doesn't work, I don't think.
Powering. No, I completely agree. All right, there we go.
The Steve Waugh wines or the Mark Waugh wines.
The Steve Waugh.
Who else do you know?
Shane Warne.
Shane Warne is not an all-rounder, no.
Ian Healy.
Ian Healy, no. He's a wicketkeeper.
Alan Border.
Alan Border, no.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. Obviously, I don't know the all-rounders that are there. There was a fast bowler, Shane Watson.
Shane Watson, yes, he was. He's an all-rounder.
There you go. I proved I'm Aussie. There we go.
Okay, awesome.
So let's move on to the next one. What did you get, Trent?
What did I get? Well, I took inspiration from one of our previous episodes where we saw IWC's best Cabernet in the world, which was Riddoch.
Yes.
Cabernet. And then one of the other things I hear about summer is that you got to try this thing called a sparkling Shiraz. Okay, so put the two together, Riddoch, Coonawarra, and sparkling Shiraz, Elgin crossing, non-vintage though, but must be excellent. Excellent producer if it could win best Cabernet in the world.
Yeah.
Summer, which is sparkling Shiraz.
It's a great combo.
It sounds like, a power combo. Power couple.
Does it sound like Steve Waugh as well? Does it sound like?
No, it sounds a bit like a... Matthew Hayden.
Matthew Hayden. Why Matthew Hayden?
It's like, I don't know, big, strong, kind of early.
With bubbles.
Bubbles, yeah. Because it's stronger, right? It's stronger as a sparkling Shiraz. Maybe with that elegance, I don't know. Like
you sold me. The man in the grapefruit shirt has sold it to me. Yeah. I got it.
Okay, cool. So the Riddoch Coonawarra, Elgin's Crossing. So got it for $23.
That's a bargain.
Which I think is a pretty good price.
Yes.
It was fermented on skins for 7 to 10 days, 12 months in seasoned oak barrels, so reused kind of oak barrels. And let's taste it. It does have the tasty notes of blackberries, mulberries, dark chocolate aromas, but obviously with the bubbles coming through. So here it is on the eyes.
On the eyes. And so it's still quite it's clear ruby.
It looks lighter than a normal Shiraz, though, right?
Yeah, lighter than a normal Shiraz. I don't think there's anything else I've got to add to That's probably it, right?
Yeah, okay. On
the nose.
They smell like Shiraz? A bit more fruitier than Shiraz, I think. A bit more lighter fruits and a dark fruits. Maybe it's because it's chilled.
Yeah.
Because sparkling Shiraz is chilled, maybe it gives it a bit more elevated nose to it.
Yeah, it's I'm just getting red berries, really.
Yeah, more red berries than dark berries though, because normally Shiraz is more kind of dark fruits, right? Stewed plums.
Yep. And let's try to taste. I'm looking forward to this because the sparkling Shiraz, I was only introduced to it last year, and last summer it was fantastic.
For some reason, I always thought that a sparkling Shiraz would taste a bit like Ribena, sparkling Ribena. With a bit more kind of sweetness to it.
But this is
dry. But it still has those kind of elements of Shiraz though to it. So I think
yeah, I think it's the sweetness.
There's a touch of bitterness to it. I feel it. I don't know whether it's just me, but
let me have some more. I was just thinking that it's the sweetness that I was expecting the most out of this, and I've probably had 3 or 4 sparkling Shiraz in my life. Mostly.
This is my first, so I popped my cherry.
You popped your, the previous ones I've had were also from South Australia, but they were all quite sweet and
overly sweet, sickening sweet.
No, it was kind of like a nice sparkling jammy sweet. It wasn't overly.
Yeah,
it wasn't overly
like
sweet.
A Ribena.
Yeah, but this is very dry.
I feel like it hits my tongue and I'm searching for that sweetness. It kind of comes and then it goes, nah, I'm not sweet, I'm bitter.
Yeah, there's a tiny bit of bitterness.
But it almost feels
right in the middle of the
but maybe it feels like, I don't know, do you have food with sparkling Shiraz or you have it by itself?
When we were having it in a backyard. It was nighttime, just hanging out with a couple of mates.
Yeah.
Just trying to cool down from the heat. So there wasn't any food with it. How much is in the alcohol of this?
It is 14%. So typical Shiraz. Typical Shiraz, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, I say.
It's interesting because it doesn't match the image that I have in my mind or past experiences. It is. I get it. It's cool. It's sparkling, so it's a bit lighter, and that links to summer. But kind of like the Semillon, I want a bit of sweetness with it for my summertime madness on the beach.
It's more summertime sadness.
That's right. Look, I think if we think about Corkscrew ratings, I don't know. I think Riddoch and Coonawarra is fantastic. This time with the sparkling, I don't exactly think it works for me. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 corkscrews. I wouldn't try it again. If I try to link it to summer as well, I do want something a bit sweeter. But overall, just as a wine, I think I was expecting something else, and there was a slight bit of bitterness there from it. Well, what's your corkscrew rating?
For me, because I'm not so much of a sweet tooth, I prefer the more bitter dark chocolates than the kind of sweet milk chocolates. So I kind of prefer, I do like it. I think I'm giving it 7 out of 10. To the point around, it's personal preference again.
Yes.
For me, I don't like things that are sickly sweet or too sweet. Yep. For me, it has those tannins and texture, and the bitterness it's there, but then as you drink more of it, you kind of, I don't know, it kind of like melds together and then kind of comes together. And as I think about it more, it kind of grows on you, a bit like you.
Yeah, it took me a while to infiltrate your friendship. Yeah, I got it. So there you go. We've tried the Riddoch sparkling Shiraz and the VAT one Semillon.
Awesome.
2 alternative wines to try for this summer. So you don't need to just stick to beer in the Australian summer. For summer 2024, try a wine, try one of these, or let us know in the comments below of any other wines that you recommend. As we wind it up here, did you have any last comments?
I just think, to your point, I feel like I'm ready for summer now. Like these ones, a bit more lighter, a bit more refreshing, colder wines. I think I'm ready. I'm ready for some grapefruits, ready for some cricket, ready for some barbies.
Beautiful. Well, like we said here, we're interested to learn more. Let us know what you're going to have for this summer. Here's a few recommendations on our side. And as we say here in the wind up, drink more, try more, learn more. Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye.